Hello. Today on ABC Amba News. Over the weekend, Ambazonians pulled another big draft. The message they send to neighboring La République du Cameroun is that self-defense has come to stay. Some families in French Cameroon have just tasted what it feels like to lose loved ones in the unnecessary war their leaders declared against Ambazonia. In foreign news, Sudan has withdrawn her ambassador to Ethiopia following denial of her offer to mediate peace in Ethiopia. And in sports, the 2021 Tokyo Olympic Summer Games has ended with the United States of America emerging as champions. These stories and more right now on ABC News.
Don't you hate it when that happens to you? When it does, you need this and this and this. When it happens to me, I always know where to go. When you've got professionals on your side, your problems don't stand a chance. What are you waiting for? Contact them today and let them take care of your problems.
Hello, and welcome to ABC Amba News. I'm Cynthia Williams. Mainstream Nigerian media is finally telling the real story of the alleged Biafra-Ambazonia alliance following the international press conference that took place last Friday, organized by the interim government. Over the weekend, a barrage of Nigerian media, both print and electronic, published the reports extensively quoting Dr. Samuel Sako as disavowing any relationship between the people of Ambazonia and the leadership with IPOB of Nnamdi Kanu. Dr. Sako is quoted in the reports of not only strongly disclaiming the supposed alliance, he is reported as saying that the claims of an alliance between Biafra and Ambazonia were propagated by some opponents with the intention of driving a wedge between Ambazonia's independent movement and the Nigerian government. President Sako challenged the civil society and the Nigerian press to investigate for themselves the facts about the alliance. Here is a brief preview of what Dr. Sako said on Arise TV in Lagos.
We have no relationship with Mr. Nnamdi Kanu. And that doesn't mean that he doesn't have relationship with some people who are Southern Cameroonians. Yes. But we are talking about the nation of the Southern Cameroon Ambazonia. And this nation is headed and led by the interim government of the Southern Cameroon Ambazonia. We have no relationship, no understanding between us and Mr. Nnamdi Kanu. We have none. And therefore, if there is any relationship whatsoever, it has nothing to do with the leadership of this struggle.
Over the weekend, Ambazonians pulled together another big war draft to send a message to neighboring La République du Cameroun that self-defense has come to stay. Location this time was Kupi-Mwaniguba County, where the record of last year was beaten. The weekend draft raised a whopping sum of $101,000 for Kupi-Mwaniguba. It will be recalled that only last week, Ambazonians had also come together and raised $160,000 for Labialam County. This coming weekend will be the turn of Dongamantung County. Comfort Comfor covered the event and now reports.
Ambazonians draw closer to Buea as they draft every week to fund self-defense against neighboring La République du Cameroun. The activities of the week that just ended on Sunday, the 8th of August 2021, have proven again beyond reasonable doubt that Southern Cameroonians mean business in their quest for the total restoration of the integrity of the people of Ambazonia. A tentative aggregate sum of $101,500 has been announced so far, and many more Ambazonians and sympathizers who were busy with other businesses have promised doing their due diligence of funding the war as soon as they are ready to do so. The events kicked off with a word of prayer, singing of the Ambazonia national anthem, the presentation of the LGA chairpersons, and an opening speech by the chairlady, Professor Epote, followed by the President, Dr. Samuel Ikomesako. Professor Epote said that although Kupe Mwaninguba is the breadbasket of the country, it is unnoticed because all the resources are tapped, labeled, and sold as products of La République du Cameroon. Let Kupe Mwaninguba not be remembered as a county with the highest La République enablers, but as one that stood up and bravely fought to restore the independence of Ambazonia, she added. In the same line, President Samuel Ikomesako appreciated sons and daughters of KMC for taking the noble task of defending homeland. The CIC also said that it is the duty of the now generation of the Ambazonians of KMC extraction to push the ongoing genocide to its logical end, which is total restoration. The Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Ellard, went an extra mile to jog the minds of Ambazonians and well-wishers of the liberation struggle throughout the week so that nobody would find any reason not to support their county. He created a WhatsApp group titled Friends of Dr. Ellard Draft. The atmosphere in the forum was colored with friendly jokes, brotherly love, patriotism, and the much needed financial assistance. I wish the people of Kupe Mwaninguba well. I will always stand with you as we push our restoration quest forward. God bless the people of Kupe Mwaninguba. That was a message from Comrade Eric Ate, the Director of Cabinet, on Dr. Ellard's platform. These words were accompanied by a $1,000 electronic receipt from him as evidence of his financial support to the county. This was just one of many of such messages and gestures that flooded the platform. The determination of Ambazonians and well-wishers to free homeland was defined by action, as everybody was on the edge of their seat until they were finally given an opportunity to contribute for the cause. One could hear happiness in the voice of the chairlady, Professor Epote, and the rest of the KMC family as they were overwhelmed with the moral and financial support that they had from the people. The end of the KMC Ambazonia War Draft was announced by another colorful flyer portraying victory as it announced the tentative total of about $101,000 and a word of, in quote, "Thank you, Ambazonia, draft for your freedom." Every Ambazonian is now buckled up as they join Donga Mountain County to prepare for their own turn that comes up on the 14th of August 2021. Comfort Comfort with prime reports on ABC Amber News.
The era when French Cameroon raped Southern Cameroon's economy, particularly in the timber sector, may be coming to an end thanks to the war. Frank Biya, first son of Paul Biya, owns the company solely responsible for decades of timber exploitation in Ambazonia. However, the privilege may now have been halted after Ambazonian restoration fighters stormed one of the timber facilities in Mamfe, chased out the French Cameroon security, and razed it to ashes. Nelly Fortune reports.
But I can pursue them. And then this. I can pursue them. See that blood. Yes. But I carry the run. The return option controlled by General Dogu that. And that. The return option Rambo, Black Beast.
Uncertainty now looms in Osing village in Manyu County following an attack by the Amazonian Restoration Forces on the French Cameroon Timber Company. It was on the night of Friday, the 6th of August 2020, that the Cameroon flagged timber company operating in Osing in Manyu County came under attack by armed Amazonian Restoration Forces. According to the commander of the Amazonian Restoration Forces in Manyu, the attack, which is one of a series of others in recent weeks, had two main objectives: an end to the activities of the company and its complete withdrawal from the southern Cameroons. In close similarity with other operations carried out by the Amazonian Restoration Forces in other areas, the attack ended with a devastating economic cost that could see the company shut down indefinitely. While the complete estimate of how the attack could affect the company is yet to be made public, the attack ended with the destruction of buildings, the burning down of heavy-duty equipment, and the dismantling of vital structures. The incident in Osing is in line with the well-established pattern of attacks on structures and businesses of vital economic interest to the colonial regime of Yaoundé. While these incidents on Cameroon's economic interests across Amazonia remain highly misinterpreted by sympathizers to the regime, some analysts and war strategists are of the opinion that the shift from military to economic front or sabotage is an illustration of the changing dynamics in the ongoing conflict. The change in approach is well espoused in the interim government's national strategic plan for the prosecution of the ongoing conflict. From the legal, diplomatic, military and economic front, Amazonians are changing the equation for the benefit of their cause. Nelly Fortu on Prime Reports with ABC Amber News.
Some families in French Cameroon have just tasted what it feels like to lose loved ones in the unnecessary war their leaders declared on Amazonia. But unlike the many Amazonian families who have lost thousands of loved ones in the 5-year-old war, the Francophone families had the privilege to give their family members dignified burials. Nelly Fortu brings us the details.
Hi, Cynthia. Oh yes, families of neighboring La République du Cameroon wail their lungs out as they lose their loved ones to the unnecessary war declared on Amazonia by the advanced age dictator Paul Vondo Vomeka. This, however, remains a privilege that they can give their family members befitting burials on red carpets, an opportunity that grieving and oppressed Amazonians are also longing for, as the military of occupation hewn their loved ones every day and either throw them into rivers for fish to feed on their remains or dump them in shallow mass graves. The week that just ended saw Amazonian women being tortured to death and others being pulled out of their houses and shot at close range by the military, who at the command of their nowhere to be found president use guns as toys to play with the lives of people they are meant to be protecting. Amazonians are finally bouncing back from the war they have been pinned to for over half a century, and their determination is real to restore their dignity. The mothers, wives, and children of La République du Cameroun are new to tears and grief, a sign that neighbors now have an idea of what Amazonians have been going through since 2016. As the citizens of southern Cameroon's commit to draft worldwide and fund the useless war, the Amazonian Restoration Forces have got the hang of their guerrilla tactics and are ready to strike even harder and bleed more hearts in La République du Cameroon. The Amazonia Department of Defense announced recently through their spokesperson, Comrade Willie, that they will no longer let La République du Cameroon corpses cross the Mongo, and in his words, "We will abandon them on the roadsides for our hungry dogs to feed on, the same way they are respecting our corpses." It seems to be taking Paul Biya Atanganji Paul Tassong, and all the Pauls of La République du Cameroon a long time to understand that Ambazonia can only be restored. That is why, as La République du Cameroon rapes, loots, shoots, maims, and kills its way to Ambazonia, the Ambazonia restoration forces are so professional that they neither rape nor loot. However, they shoot their way to the negotiation table led by the Swiss-based NGO Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, HD, where they are going to discuss terms of separation. Is it still worth it fighting the war? Nelly Fortu on Prime reports with ABC Amber News.
And now for international news. The Republic of Sudan has withdrawn her ambassador to Ethiopia following denial by Ethiopia of offers to mediate a peace settlement between Tigray and Ethiopia. Our correspondent Eunice Momo has the details from Lagos.
Sudan's Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok spoke with the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken on Wednesday about the conflict in the northern Ethiopian region of Tigray, which has led to an influx of 53,400 refugees since late 2020. Spokespeople for the Ethiopian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Prime Minister did not immediately respond to requests for comments on Sudan recalling its ambassador. On Thursday, the Prime Minister's spokeswoman, Bailin Seyum, dismissed the possibility of Sudan mediating on the conflict in the northern region of Tigray. She described the relationship with Khartoum as a bit tricky and said trust should be the basis of any mediation, but had eroded, especially following the Sudanese army incursion into Ethiopian territory. Hamdok's offer came within the framework of his presidency of Intergovernmental Authority of Development, a grouping that includes Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda, Djibouti, Sudan, and Somalia, the statement said. The border tensions come at a time when Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt are also trying to resolve a three-way war over Ethiopia's Grand Ethiopia Renaissance Dam. Eunice Momo on Prime Reports with ABC Amber News.
And now in business news. The U.S. state of Wyoming is leading the way in attempts to codify laws to bring Bitcoin into mainstream use as a banking or retirement investment option. A U.S. senator from the state is leading the effort and has recently indicated that she owns several Bitcoins as part of her diversified retirement investment strategy. Economic analyst Dr. Ngwambe has the story. Let's watch.
A U.S. senator has called for people to buy Bitcoin and save it as part of their retirement plan.
I encourage people to buy and hold. I encourage them to save Bitcoin for their retirement, for their future. And that's because as the Congress spends trillions and trillions of dollars and is flooding our economy and the world economy with US dollars, there's no way that we cannot debase the value of the
Senator
US
Cynthia
dollar.
Loomis of Wyoming revealed she had more than $100,000 invested into cryptocurrency and planned to continue buying and saving more. Speaking at the CNBC Financial Advisor Summit, the Republican lawmaker said that she hoped the crypto industry grows and is nurtured and used, and that regulation is brought up to speed with the financial and technological advancements that Bitcoin brings. She went on to say, "I would like to see cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, become part of the diversified asset allocation that are used in retirement funds and other opportunities for people to save for the future." She continued by saying, "So whether you're an employee that has a retirement fund, I'd like to see those retirement funds invested in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that are good stores of value. But I'd also like to see individuals be able to use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies of their preference that are safe, that have met the hurdles of Anti-Money Laundering and Bank Secrecy Act, but that allow people to use their cell phones to send stores of value, Bitcoin, to each other. Senator Loomis revealed for the first time that she personally owned 5 Bitcoins, having bought the first one for $330 back in 2013. At the current market rates, 5 Bitcoins is worth roughly $168,000. For me, I see Bitcoin as a great store of value, but I buy Bitcoin and I hold Bitcoin, she said. I encourage people to buy and hold. I encourage them to save Bitcoin for their retirement, for their future. I think one of the strongest stores of value for the long run is Bitcoin. Senator Loomis recently said she was really excited about the recent price crash because it would allow her to buy more of the cryptocurrency at a cheaper price. Speaking to Fox Business News, when Bitcoin was below $30,000 in June, she said, "As soon as it drops a little more, I'll buy more." She also said she hoped that any regulation introduced in the U.S. will be simple, easy to understand, and not too restrictive. This has been Dr. Gwambe on Prime Reports with ABC Amba News.
And now in sports news. The 2021 Tokyo Olympic Games have ended with the United States of America emerging as champions. Host country Japan came third, and Kenya took the best spot for the African continent. In soccer, Lionel Messi is in tears as he bids farewell to Barcelona after 17 years with the club. Here is the report.
The 2020 Tokyo Olympic closing ceremony. It was designed to celebrate the efforts of the athletes in the first 17 days of games and to leave us with hope for the future. Here's a look at the closing ceremony. 17 days of competition within the world's best athletes came to an end Sunday, 8th of August 2021 at the Tokyo Olympic Stadium. Much like the opening ceremony, no spectators were allowed in the stadium due to protocols introduced to keep everyone safe during the coronavirus pandemic. Officials and dignitaries were in attendance though, along with athletes whose competitions finished within 48 hours beforehand. While some of the ceremony was to be pre-recorded, viewers had been promised plenty of exciting live moments too. The show started with a short video celebrating the past 17 days and fireworks to mark the beginning of the end. After the Japanese national anthem was sung by a troupe with a 100-year history and the flag entered the stadium, it was over to the athletes parade with flag bearers from each country parading and forming a circle. Then remaining athletes entering all at once from 4 gates. Organizers wanted this part of the ceremony to be celebratory and liberating. This also sped up the athletes' parade and allowed them to mingle, a freedom afforded by constant COVID testing before and during the games. There were noticeable fewer athletes and officials at this closing, with many having left Japan within 48 hours of their last event in accordance with COVID regulations. Remarkable at this event were protesters who marked the closing ceremony in Tokyo, gathering outside the Olympic Stadium with a bizarre message. 1 hour ahead of the closing ceremony, Japanese locals were heard chanting, "Cancel the Olympic," signs in the hot red, "Olympics kill the poor," and "Stop playing games." Police quickly grouped around the peaceful protesters, with media also flooding the scene. The protest seemed relatively pointless considering the games were essentially over, with the finals even ending several hours earlier. However, Tokyo remained in a state of emergency with thousands of new COVID cases being announced every day. Which country topped the Tokyo Olympic medal tally? It was an array of different sport activities ranging from boxing, gymnast ball games, racing, and martial arts. The United States of America emerged champions, winning a total of 113 medals, 39 gold, 41 silver, and 33 bronze. The People's Republic of China came second with a total of 88 medals, while host country Japan sits on third position with a total of 58 medals. The African continent was not well represented, with Kenya grabbing 10 medals, the highest among participating African countries, and sitting on the 19th position. 4 of these medals are gold, silver, and 2 bronze. Thanks to Japan, the word arigato was displayed in the Olympic Stadium as the organizers thanked the Japanese people and the teams for a game like no other. Turning on to the page of soccer, soccer's best of all time, Lionel Messi, on Sunday, August 8, broke down in tears as he bid farewell to his former teammates, fans, and entire Barcelona family in a press conference in Barcelona. Until leaving the club in 2021, he had spent his entire professional career with Barcelona, where he won a club record 34 trophies, including 10 La Liga titles, 7 Copa del Rey titles, and 4 UEFA Champions Leagues. Silver Bright on Prime Report with ABC Amber News.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the news we have for you today. Please stay tuned to ABC Amber TV. Once more, I'm Cynthia Williams. Stay safe. Hello. Today on ABC Amber News. Over the weekend, Ambazonians pulled another big draft. The message they send to neighboring La République du Cameroun is that self-defense has come to stay. Some families in French Cameroon have just tasted what it feels like to lose loved ones in the unnecessary war their leaders declared against Ambazonia. In foreign news, Sudan has withdrawn her ambassador to Ethiopia following denial of her offer to mediate peace in Ethiopia. And in sports, the 2021 Tokyo Olympic Summer Games has ended with the United States of America emerging as champions. These stories and more right now on ABC News.